Welcome back to the Vandy Sports Podcast. I'm Joey Dwyer here at midcourt at Memorial Gymnasium after Vanderbilt's 77-72 win over Mississippi State. Midcourt's a ballsy move, but I told myself I'd do it before the end of the season, and it's being done now. I had to keep that promise to myself, and it's fitting as Vanderbilt has won 5 straight games here, hasn't lost since January 24th. Feels like the perfect time to do it, and it feels like Vanderbilt is really feeling itself, has really hit its stride. Jordan Wright had his senior night tonight, had a tremendous night with 19 points, shot 5 of 9 from the field. Again, just a really nice night for Vanderbilt. It showed its flaws with some of the front court stuff we saw without Liam Robbins, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But again, the way Vanderbilt has defended its home court throughout conference play and throughout the month of February, throughout early March, even throughout a little bit of late January, I think they picked up a win here. At that point, it's just, again, incredible the way Vanderbilt has turned the season around, and microcosm of that is how they played at Memorial Gymnasium early in the year. Lost to Southern Miss, lost to Grambling State, had an empty crowd against Alabama A&M, barely won, had an empty crowd against Southeastern Louisiana. Now this place is almost packed every night, and Vanderbilt is winning almost every time it's here. Just a tremendous turn, and I don't know how much we can say that, but when a team is loose like Vanderbilt, you don't like to bet against them, especially at home. Learned that from covering a few Mike Brey teams. When a team is loose, you don't expect them to lose many games, and Vanderbilt kind of feels like it's there right now, although there are some flaws that have popped up late in the season with Liam Robbins being hurt, and we saw that tonight. Mississippi State out-rebounded them 45-24, grabbed 23 offensive rebounds, which is almost as many rebounds as Vanderbilt had in total, and Vanderbilt really didn't have an answer for Tolu Smith down low, or even a few of Mississippi State's other bigs. Just had a really tough time hitting the glass and gave up a ton of points in the paint as well, 36 points in the paint if I remember correctly. Really tough night for Vanderbilt on the glass, and in the paint, Quentin Millora-Brown had 4 fouls pretty early in the second half. I'd probably say midway through the second half is a little bit more fair. Malik Dia gave Vanderbilt 5 minutes, but obviously probably not the guy you want guarding Tolu Smith and some of the SEC's best bigs. Jerry Stackhouse said that in the presser. It's like, well, hell, we want to get him minutes, but you see Oscar Tshiebwe's on the other end. Mississippi State's bigs are on the other end tonight, and Malik Dia, again, not the easiest time. I don't think he scored, and obviously it's tough to get rebounds against physical men like he saw tonight. Quentin Millora-Brown, though, I think is going to be the key moving forward, and Lee Dort's status is also going to be huge moving forward for Vanderbilt. Quentin Millora-Brown staying out of foul trouble and staying on the floor is going to be a huge thing for Vanderbilt as it heads to Bridgestone Arena in a few days. If he can stay on the floor and Vanderbilt can avoid going to some of those smaller lineups, which Jerry Stackhouse called in the presser bad coaching, to put Studian right at the 5 and 4. If Vanderbilt can avoid some of those lineups, they'll be much better off for it. And obviously those lineups give you some things offensively, but a lot of these bigs they're going to see against Kentucky with Jacob Toppin out there. Oscar Tshiebwe can guard a little bit. It's going to be tough to work some of those mismatches against a lot of the teams they'll see in the Bridgestone Arena and really the rest of the way. But it feels like if Quentin Millora-Brown can stay on the floor, if Lee Dort can come back and give you some rebounding, give you some spot minutes where he can block a few shots, just make things challenging on more physical bigs, feels like maybe Vanderbilt can skate by with that. I feel like really what's going to determine how far this team goes is how it can rebound and how it can defend the interior. Obviously, it's a little bit tougher without Liam Robbins, who's one of the best shot blockers in the league and one of the best overall players in the league, one of the better rebounders on this team. It's going to be tough, but Vanderbilt's just going to have to at least be somewhat serviceable so where they don't just get beat up on the glass like they did tonight, and they don't get just pummeled in the paint and give up a bunch of points in the paint. What really won this game for Vanderbilt was just the way it shared the ball and the way really it played together. Jordan Wright had a really nice night. Tyron Lawrence had a really nice night. Ezra Magnon was really solid, had 7 assists and no turnovers. It just feels like this team, no matter what defense it sees, is really flowing offensively. Even Miles Studi got a few big shots tonight that ended runs for Mississippi State and really put Vanderbilt in the driver's seat of this game. Vanderbilt never trailed tonight, and it felt like Mississippi State was right there every time, but it was either a Trey Thomas 3, it was a Miles Studi 3, it was a few free throws by Jordan Wright. Something happened every time that put Vanderbilt back in the driver's seat, and that's kind of a microcosm of their balanced attack. You see Trey Thomas hit that 3, and you see Jordan Wright go and hit those big free throws down the stretch. You see Miles Studi hit a few big threes after maybe he didn't have the greatest conference play. It feels like Vanderbilt's next man up mentality is really hitting through for this team, and it's really been a nice couple months for them. And again, it's balance, it's next man up, it's loose. You don't want to bet against teams like that who are doing all those things effectively. And really the thing that's going to hold them back is interior defense and defense as a whole. They wanted to build their identity on that, but it hasn't quite been there. What's really encouraging, though, is the way that offense flowed even without its best player. Liam Robbins was out, obviously, and he's going to be out for the rest of the way. But Vanderbilt shot, 49% from the field, 48% from three, hit 12 threes tonight against Ken Palm's number 5 defense in the country, who likes to trap, who likes to press. And Vanderbilt won the turnover battle. So everything I was harping on early in the season that Vanderbilt really needed to improve on and really needed to adjust to, it's worked. And this team is maybe not playing its best basketball. I think that came about 2 weeks ago, but playing really good basketball. Doesn't look like it'll lose here. And the way they've transformed this gym from the place that Vanderbilt plays to the place to be whenever Vanderbilt plays is really, really special. And I don't know how far this team's going to get. We'll talk about the NCAA tournament in a second, but just that tangible feeling of this is the place to be. We're playing for Nashville. We're not playing for Vanderbilt anymore. We're playing for the city. The city's behind us. That's a special feeling that the Vanderbilt players have right now. And as they head to the tournament, or as they head to the SEC tournament and try to fight for their tournament lives, that's certainly something that they can remember as special regardless of whether they get in the tournament or not. Looking forward to Vanderbilt's tournament resume. They were second team out of the next 4 out today, so I would expect tomorrow they're probably in the next 4 out. I have to check on some bracketology things, some teams on the bubble who lost, but hard to see a way Vanderbilt, after another quad 2 win, now 9-10 in the first 2 quads, doesn't make its way into the next 4 out. That gives you some hope going into the SEC tournament. Like, you're there, you're in the conversation. Now you maybe don't control your own destiny, but if you win enough games on your own, you've got a shot here. Vanderbilt is going to see the winner of Georgia LSU on Thursday night in Bridgestone. LSU's obviously a team who's given them trouble. Georgia gave them trouble, but Vanderbilt won on the road there, so it won't be easy on Thursday night by any stretch. And then Friday's going to get even more difficult. Oscar Tshiebwe is certainly not the guy you want to see when you have 2 freshman bigs, one of them coming off an injury, trying to get into the game and give you some things. Oscar Tshiebwe is not the guy you want to see. He had 10 offensive rebounds on Wednesday night. Vanderbilt gave up 26 offensive rebounds to Kentucky as opposed to 9 offensive rebounds that Vanderbilt had on Wednesday night. And it feels like Vanderbilt really doesn't want to see that team right now, but it's going to have to again, and it might have Case and Wallace this time, and Vanderbilt won't have Liam Robbins. So it's not fair that they don't have Liam Robbins, but that's how life is right now, and Vanderbilt's going to have to find a way to move forward without that. The biggest key, like I said, that offense has to keep going. They have to keep sharing the ball like they did tonight, and they have to find a way to be serviceable on the glass and not just get completely beat up in the paint. That's what happened tonight, and Vanderbilt found a way to win. But as you see teams in the postseason, as you see a team like Kentucky, who has a little bit better guard play than Mississippi State, it's going to be really challenging to win games that way. But at this point, I wouldn't bet against this Vanderbilt team. Like I said, just another tremendous win. Vanderbilt shot the 3 unbelievably well, and we talked about that really all season. That's the equalizer, and Vanderbilt used that to equalize this one tonight. Mississippi State's more athletic, higher ranked, and obviously the things we said about the interior are true, but Vanderbilt won this game with its guard play. It won it with what it did on the 3-point line, the way it moved the ball, and Jordan Wright was a huge part of that. Jordan Wright was tremendous tonight. Again, it feels like Jordan Wright's really turned a corner. Wednesday was maybe the turning point in his season, and he has been really solid tonight. Played with a lot more confidence. Kind of let that crowd feed into him, and again, just a really nice night for Jordan Wright. He said the thing he's going to remember most about his Vanderbilt career, if this is it, if this is the last game he plays here at Memorial Gymnasium, it's going to be just playing with his brothers, and maybe more than all the wins and the losses, just the way he's competed with these guys and the way he's competed in front of these fans who have really shown up for him. When he got here, he said the staff wasn't even complete. He didn't win a game in January when he got here, and now the program is in a completely different place, and Jordan Wright's game is in a completely different place. Wish we would have got this Jordan Wright a few months ago, and even when Vanderbilt was playing well, wish we got a little bit more of him to cover and to kind of see in this element, but Tyron Lawrence picked up the slack, Ezra Manjon picked up the slack, and that makes you feel really good about the future of Vanderbilt's backcourt. We'll get into that more, I'm sure, throughout the offseason, but if Ezra Manjon returns, if Tyron Lawrence returns, I would probably guess Jordan Wright doesn't return based on kind of the comments he's made and kind of the comments Stackhouse has made on the radio, but if he returns, it's a backcourt you feel pretty good about when you bring in Isaiah West and you bring back some other guys like Paul Lewis, who, again, was really stable tonight. And I think that's kind of the word to use with Paul Lewis is stability. Paul Lewis, against that press that Mississippi State had, him and Ezra Manjon really were able to control the ball, were able to control the offense and give Vanderbilt some good looks despite kind of the athletic disadvantage that it saw. Just another really nice night, really clean night offensively for Vanderbilt, and that carried it throughout the night. Balanced, clean, and gutsy. Those are the three words I'd probably use to describe this Vanderbilt offense. And even without Liam Robbins, Vanderbilt finds a way to beat a team that felt like a bad matchup on paper for it, and Vanderbilt proved it wrong. So as we head to Bridgestone Arena next week, Vanderbilt's got a lot to hang its hat on. It's also got a few issues that may protrude into the season ending, but Vanderbilt has to feel good about where it's at now. And again, hard to bet against this team. Feel like they've been out of it 3 or 4 times. The LSU game was supposed to be the end of it. The Alabama game was supposed to be the end of it. And Vanderbilt's still alive. It's still fighting. And I think that's probably the biggest takeaway of tonight. Probably would have ended the season with a loss tonight, but now finds a way. And it's still kicking. So we'll see you on Thursday at Bridgestone Arena. Chris and I will be covering that game, I believe. And then I'll be there Friday night as well. Not sure about Saturday if Vanderbilt wins on Friday, but we'll certainly be there the first 2 days, and can't wait. This is about it for Memorial Gymnasium. Glad I grew the balls to film the show here, but I really appreciate all the support this year. It's been a dream come true, and yeah, pretty cool to just soak in everything that's happened at this arena and look at each spot on the floor and think about what's happened there and all the players that have stepped on the floor here. Oscar Sheboy's been on this floor that I'm standing on. Brandon Miller's been on it. Tyron Lawrence hit that game winner in the corner. A few weeks ago, Ezra Manjon hit that layup to beat Auburn. Just really cool feeling to be here, and that's all thanks to you guys. Thanks to God for putting me in this position, and I appreciate all you guys watching every night. If you've been here, even through the Grambling post-game and the Southern Miss post-game, you deserve to be here now, and I'm sure all of you do. But I really appreciate all you guys supporting throughout the year, and allowing me to do this. Maybe not as a full-time job yet, but allowing me to be here every night, and again, allowing me to soak this all in. So thank you guys, and God bless. Peace.